Hey guys, welcome to the podcast. My name is Sean. This is adult content. Speaking of adult content, we're talking about things navigating the roller coaster of adulthood with a dash of humor and, of course, a sprinkle of mental health and a generous serving of reality. Hope you guys enjoy this podcast. We hope to serve a dose of relatable stories, expert tips, and a whole lot of laughter as well. So, to kickstart the first episode of the brand new podcast, we are talking about shaping your new year. Shaping your new year. So like every year, when we go into a new year, we have a new mantra. We say new year, a new me. We get rid of old habits. We take on some new ones. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about throwing things out that does not help us and serve us anymore, and putting things into place that will help make us better, whether it be habits, people, fitness, mental health, the list goes on. And especially for this podcast, because I am a fitness professional, I would love to take on a bit of a coaching role as well, not just for people who want to exercise or want to get better through fitness, but also for fitness instructors who are listening to this podcast a little bit and who are in the same boat as me when we talk about serving our community that way. So the first thing we want to jump right in is guilt and shame. I think guilt and shame has definitely got to go for 2024. We are talking about being okay with not being okay. Be done with guilt. It's not always gonna work out. You are not always gonna work out. Sometimes we start the whole January madness with fitness and we're talking, okay, I'm gonna go to the gym every day, I'm gonna go on this diet. But facts is it's not always gonna be the case. Okay, a yo-yo diet thing is normal. It happens throughout the year. There are different seasons in your life that we go up and go down. So get rid of the guilt and the shame that eats at you every single day when you look at the mirror, or when you I want to say step on the scale, but you shouldn't at all. And why even have scales? The number does not define you, and your happiness does. All right, it's okay to put on a few pounds as long as you know your intention. Well, if your intention is that I'm busy this season, but I'm gonna get to it, there is a plan, I have a coach, I go to classes, stuff like that, then that's okay. But if your intention is like, I just want to be lazy and not care about my life, then of course push yourself for the better, I say. It's not as long as it's not you being lazy or running away from something. You want to run, yes, but not run away from something. And as a fitness instructor, personally, I feel like sometimes for me, guilt happens when I don't teach classes, or when I am not there to serve the community, or when I have to find a substitute for my class and I feel like it's not giving my 100%, I'm not pushing myself enough. So we are done with feeling guilty, because we need to take care of ourselves. As long as we have that priority of mental health and self-awareness, I think that's a great place to start off for 2024. The next thing we want to get rid of is comparing. Yes, comparing other people's lifestyles, comparing other people's highlights to our insights, because we get to see what is really going on in our lives. We get to look inward, whereas for other people we only get to see what they show us, whether it's on Instagram or through chats and stuff like that. So we want to stop comparing other people's successes. This actually forces you to live in the moment and to be grateful for everything that you have. It forces you to reflect on things that you have already, and it makes you feel like you don't have to reach out and always go for more. It's the same thing when we talk about like how much money is enough. It's never gonna be enough. It's never ever gonna be enough, and we want to jump away from that, and we want to jump away from comparing ourselves with everybody else, especially our peers, our partners, our family members, our work colleagues. We want to move away from seeing them as competition, but you want to see them as community. I feel like that's a great place for us to start this year as well. For instructors, it's time for us to stop comparing class sizes and of obsessively checking the attendance. I remember this is something I used to do when I first started teaching as well, because it would mean so much to me, right, that people actually come. It came from a good place, but it started becoming obsessive over, like, oh, how many people I have in my class versus how many people goes to somebody else's class. And then you just sit in front of a computer and just refresh the window just to see if anybody cancels every hour, and then you fill your head with all sorts of things, and the demon of comparing and demon of comparison takes place ahead of what is important, which is giving your clients or my clients a great experience, which means preparing myself for class, right? And so for fitness instructors, we want to change the mindset a little bit. This is the mindset of being obsessed with your numbers, and we are done with it. Yes, comparison is the thief of joy. I like to say comparison is the thief of joy. Thief of joy. Yes, my English teacher is rolling her eyes right now. The next thing that we want to be done of in 2024 is being over challenging. So see, challenging is okay because we want to set challenges for ourselves. By the way, I'm not a goal setter kind of guy. Growing up, every year we used to do, my coaches, my friends, my leaders and stuff like that, my mentors will always say, write down your goals. And I feel like we need a little small mindset change from goals to habits. Yeah, so sometimes we feel a great book to read is James Clear's Atomic Habits, and learn the difference between like setting goals versus developing systems for yourself to actually reach a place where you want to be. And I feel like that's a great habit to have. So sometimes we want to set challenges for ourselves, but we don't want to set like huge goals, or we don't want to be over challenging, and sometimes we set a standard for ourselves that's unnecessarily high. I mean, like, for what, right? And then it may be like a work target. Sometimes our bosses or ourselves, we set a very high work target and we try to reach that. We work and we sloth away. Or is it maybe a new habit that you want to form, eating better, not using so many curse words this year, stuff like that. For riders or instructors, it's like sequences that are obsessively long and feels very performative rather than helpful. And when you do this kind of choreo, you feel like only less than 50% of the class, only a few riders are actually getting. You are the only fellow that can do this, and then everybody else is struggling. I mean, like, what's the point? So use that like analogy in life as well. If not a lot of people can do it. If you can't do 50% of that, then what's the point, right? It may be fun to try new challenges every now and then, as long as you're working towards it, but this forces you to be self-aware of what you are capable of and what you want to put into practice. For example, if like hitting a sprint double time is going to be your achievement that you have set up for yourself, doesn't need to be for a year, but it can be quite fast, then you have to set that practice. Okay, every time you come to class, you got to do this. Every time you got to sit down and activate your fast twitch muscles. I'll do a whole thing about this, a whole video about this soon as well. Yeah, so being over challenging is something that we want to tweak a little bit with that mindset change in 2024. The next one maybe is giving credit. I think this is a great personality trait to develop. It's the ability to recognize when someone has helped you or done something awesome, and the ability to give credit where credit is due. I mean, like, at work or on projects or even at home with a partner as well, and you notice that your partner's been doing so much for you or so much around the house, or give credit where credit is due. On social media as well, when we use or when we repost or when we talk about friends or situations, give credit. I mean, like, just sharing the love is gonna be a fun habit to develop, especially when you have a community of people as well. For instructors, it's like when you copy creators, or you see this choreo on Instagram and then you start doing stuff like that, and then you do it without giving credit. I mean, that's a big no-no. So always like support and give credit as well. I guess imitation is the best form of flattery, but I want to remind everybody, if you guys haven't watched this, I mean, you guys might be too young, but you don't know. If you guys haven't watched this, go and watch the movie Bring It On, right? So it's like a group of cheerleaders and they became very good, but then they realized that they've just been copying somebody else. And you want to give credit where credit is due, and you want to show and tell people how awesome they are, because who doesn't want to go around, hearing that, especially when you are the creative force behind it, right? So that's a new trick or a new habit to have for 2024. The next one is overworking. I mean, like, why you want to overwork yourself, right? This is the year that you're going to realize that you work super hard for someone else. I mean, if you're working super hard for someone else, then all the money that you get doesn't really mean squat, because you slave away so that your boss can get a bigger car. Then for what, right? You work so hard just for that. I mean, I'm not saying do the bare minimum, because that's not a fun and hardworking personality trait to develop. You don't want somebody that's like, I just do the bare minimum and I don't want to work. You want to work on yourself, want to give as much as you can give. You want to push yourself, but you want to make it sustainable. Yeah, it's about doing things that you can sustain in the long run. And if you are always overworking, this will lead you to burnout. When your output doesn't match your expectations and these two things are not aligned, then that's where stress comes in, and that leads to burnout. And when you feel burnout, before you even reach the burnout, there's a brownout, and then when you are browning out at that point in time, you feel very stressed. When you are stressed, your brain brings you into survival mode, and then it pushes you into like trying to get away everything. It becomes all or nothing, and that's a very dangerous place that you want to live in, right? So try not to overwork this year. Try to plan yourself and take care of yourself as well, loves. All right, the next one is communication. I think this year we need to talk a lot more, and that's why I started doing this podcast again. I mean, I took a year break from podcasting and actually talking and sharing my point of views and stuff like that, and it's something that I've always wanted to do, but it's a skill that I am still developing. So thank you for joining me on this journey. I hope you guys enjoy every bit of it. I do encourage you to communicate a little bit more and be more vulnerable, when open with each other, with your friends, with your family, with your spouses, and with therapy as well. I encourage everybody to go to therapy in 2024, which is also something that for our fitness people out there, that spin for me personally is mental health at its best, and it's for you to enjoy your mental health, but also look for other things as well, like actual therapy, right? And I'm really excited to offer a service that I'm creating or developing in 2024. It's an intimate coaching program. It's very limited, like we're doing like very small number of spots for people. So if you are interested in getting like a little bit of coaching and stuff like that, and it's like life coaching, but it's not really life coaching. It's you and me sitting down, planning and understanding, and me teaching you and giving you all these expert tips and advice. So if you are interested in that, let me know. DM me, slide into my DMs. Yeah. The next thing that we want to focus on is quality over quantity. In 2024, I hope you focus over quality over quantity, because the world is moving so fast. This year is where you actually slow down to look at the quality over the quantity that you have. You don't really need to spread yourself so thin, but I understand, me of all people understand, I do so many things, and all these will take time and effort. But here's a gentle reminder to start somewhere, right? Focus on what brings you quality friendships, quality communication with each other, quality charity that you're gonna do. If you're gonna do charity, do it well. Quality classes for our instructors as well. When we focus on really high quality classes, the experience that our clients or riders get means that they will remember that more than the hype or the number of classes that you do, right? So quality also deepens your personal brand a little bit, and it helps you theme yourself. So you focus on themes that you actually vibe with and not just go with the flow. A very important one that I want to say as well for us in 2024 is cross training. Cross training, I feel, is going to be super important this year, and I have a feeling that many of us, we went into the new year, right? I feel like for many of us, we come into the new year. I feel like cross training is going to be a big thing for 2024. Many of us, we come into the new year with the feeling of being stuck. Like we've been doing the same things over and over again, day in and day out, and we really want to try something new, but it's going to take time, it's going to take money, it's going to take effort, and we are fearful of trying these new things. This is where cross training comes in, because you can start really small and develop these atomic habits along the way. This is where cross training is about shaping yourself holistically. For some of us, we hardly read, so maybe it's time for us to cross train our brains and read a little bit more. For some of us, we are doing a single job. It's time for us to cross train and do a small side hustle. You know what I mean? For some of us, we have the same group of friends that sometimes are not positive holistically or positive entirely. So sometimes we need to cross train ourselves and find a different group of friends. Or maybe for us, we've been doing spin, or we're doing HIIT classes or doing Pilates for like the longest time. It's time for us to cross train ourselves and get into weight training, or get into running, or climbing, or something like that. Do something different so that your body will grow holistically as well. And this is what I encourage all my riders to do as well. Strength training will help your spin journey. And when you can ride better and stronger, you enjoy yourself more, right? Because it's like partying on the bike, right? Then you are able to do more weight focused things that gives your body a little different challenge, set different boundaries for yourself. If you are interested in cross training, or in weight training, or in personal training for 2024 as well, your boy is here for you. So slide in my DMs. That's what I want to do for each and every single one of you as well. Yeah, so like I said, it's not going to be big, but I hope that it can be big in your life. Yeah, this year, I think, as we wrap up, final words, a big thing that to take away from 2024, or the big thing to take into 2024, is support. I feel like this year it should really be our year of supporting ourselves, supporting our mental health, supporting our boundaries, supporting our partners, supporting our friends, our workers, our instructors, our classes, different businesses. Is the year of support. Things are going to get really hard this year because everything is going up, prices are going up, anxiety is going up, stress is going up, people are worried more than ever about their happiness. So a little support goes a long way. With support comes kindness, it comes generosity, it comes the ability to look empathetically to your friends, to your families, to businesses and instructors and stuff like that. And this will really help them grow and help you grow as a person as well. Yeah. And last but not least, final word for my instructors, especially all my spin instructors out there. Interesting take, but here's the deal. Spend less time playlisting and more time honing your message. The effort that we put into playlisting, sometimes we take like 3-4 hours just to come up with one playlist, and I think use of that time can far better be put into actually thinking and meditating about your overall experience that you can give the class. All right, making people feel amazing with milestones or different things that would improve them and their experience, versus finding the perfect remix, because sometimes people don't necessarily remember the songs that you play, but they remember how you made them feel. Yeah, my girl Maya Angelou. Alright, so thanks for spending less time playlisting and honoring your message, honing your message, so you spend more time making an impact with the people that actually are there for you, are there for the class as well. Yeah. So we come to the end of the podcast. Thank you so much. This is the first episode. Hope you guys enjoy things like this. If you do, please have a wonderful New Year, friends. Thanks for listening all the way to the end of the Adult Content Podcast. If you love this one, I would appreciate you rating, reviewing, sharing this with your friends, letting people know, subscribe, and all the good things that come along with that as well. Make sure that you share this with somebody you love if that could benefit people. We just want to spread the message of love. So all the magic and the motivation in their lives, I wish you guys nothing but love, joy, and peace. Thank you so much for joining me. This has been the Adult Content Podcast.